Hello everyone. So that is our history's chapter 2, the new kings and kingdoms. In first part we have already talked about the emergence of new kingdom, how it is all started, what is prashasti, what is land grants, we have already talked. Now we will go further. So it is here that will be warfare for wealth and a closer look the Cholas dynasty, that is the objective of this part. Warfare for wealth, what does that mean? Warfare for wealth, to get more wealth, do the war, means they are fighting, that dynasties are fighting with each other in order to get more wealth, that is called warfare for wealth, and we will also look about that Cholas dynasty. So for centuries, Gurjara Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas and Palas dynasties fought for control over Kannauj. There were three dynasties, Gurjara Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas and Palas. Three dynasties were there and they were having one city among them three. Kannauj. Kannauj were there, they were overlapping the Kannauj, three of them. So they just wanted to, okay, that Kannauj can come to us. If I will give one simple example, in your house, if there are your house is 3 BHK, okay, 3 BHK means 3 bedroom, hall, kitchen, okay, and in one of the bedroom there is AC is there, attached lead bath is there. If you will open the window, nice wind will come daily, nice view you can see outside. So that is the one room only, and all the other rooms there is no attached lead bath, there is no scenery, good scenes are there, there no AC, is like that. So whoever is in the family, your siblings, your mother, father, your grandmother, grandparents, and everybody will feel like, okay, we want that room which is having all the facilities. So like that it was the Kannauj. Kannauj was having very nice fertile land, it was having that Ganga valley, so that land was fertile, water was enough, so everybody wants to, okay, if we will get the Kannauj we can earn better. So they were just fighting up for that. The long drawn conflict is known as tripartite struggle. That the conflicts between these three parties, these three dynasties is called tripartite, because three parties are involved, that's why it is called tripartite struggle. Next you will see in the map, that is that Palas are there, then Gurjara Pratihars and Rashtrakutas, and there is over there is Kannauj. Kannauj were there, they were fighting for that. Now we will talk about Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. That he was not from India, he was from outside, but he came to India, he raided India, he looted India 17 times. There are there can be two reasons to warfare. Why anybody wants to attack on other dynasty? There can be two reasons. One is they want to expand their land, they want to expand their dynasty. I want to expand there, so I will attack to the other one and I will take their land and I will just add that land in my dynasty. That can be one reason. Second reason is they want wealth. They don't want to expand their land, but they want the wealth of that kingdom. So like that, Ghazni's motive was not to expand his reason. His reason was he wanted to take the wealth from the India. That's why for 17 times he has looted wealth of India. And what he used to do, he used to loot the temples. Before, what used to happen, that kings, there were so many kings, all must be having money, but now they want to show ki, okay, I am powerful, I am having so much wealth. So how they will show it? So they used to make big temples, that by using that gold and silver and many other metals like that precious metals, and they used to make big temples. So the temples were having so much money in that. So that Ghazni used to come here and loot the temples. So he has looted the Somnath temple of Gujarat as well, and he has done that for 17 times. He was having one scholar named Al-Biruni. Like in the last part we have talked about that kings used to have Brahmins in their kingdom and they used to write prashasti. So like that Al-Biruni has written a book about Ghazni and about the India. Now that was about the Ghazni, why he did the warfare. Now about the other kings. The other kings engaged in warfare were Chauhans. There was Chauhan dynasty was there, and they were ruling where? They were ruling in Delhi and Ajmer. So they want to expand their dynasty. Chauhans wants to expand their dynasty, so they used to attack the other dynasty and used to take lands from them. So when they started expanding, so that Chalukyas of Gujarat and Gadwals of Western Ur started conflicts with them. Okay, you cannot do that. We won't let you do that. Okay, so they have started conflicts between them. Prithviraj III was a popular Chauhan rulers. That in Chauhans, Prithviraj III was very famous. He was very powerful and strong, and he defeated Afghan ruler Gauri. Like Ghazni, when Gauri was also there, he was from Afghanistan. He also came here to loot India, to expand his region, and he fight with others. So once what he did, he attacked on Chauhan. That time the king was Prithviraj III. So in 191 he attacked. In 191 when he attacked first time, that time Prithviraj Chauhan defeated him, and he let him go. Okay, you can go from again Afghanistan. So he has gone to Afghanistan. But after 1 year he prepared himself well. He prepared some army, and he came again in 192, and that time he defeated Prithviraj III, and no else dynasty who were that neighboring dynasties like Chalukyas and Gadwal, nobody helped him, that Cholas. Why they didn't help? Because they were also having conflicts with Prithviraj ki, okay, why you are expanding your land and why you are attacking to others. So nobody helped him, so that's why he got defeated from Gauri. Next is the Cholas. Now the Cholas were from a small family of Uriya. Like in first part we have talked about that one kingdom used to be there, and they were having some samantas. They were having some lands, and then they become powerful, they get the wealth, they used to declare themselves king. So like that there was Pallav dynasty was there, the big dynasty was there, Pallavas, and in that there was one small family, Samantas family, Uriyar family, and from that it was Cholas were there. So in Cholas, there was Raja I was considered the most powerful Cholas ruler and expanded control over most of this area. He was very famous. Raja I was the very famous Cholas ruler. That Cholas dynasty was one of the longest spreaded dynasty. They have expanded very far, all over that towards Sri Lanka, towards the Southeast Asia and all these things. So Raja I was very powerful Chola ruler, and after him his son Rajendra I has become the king, and he conquered Sri Lanka and countries of Southeast Asia. Cholas were big temple builders. Like I told you that the king who wants to show their wealth, their power, they used to make temples. So Cholas have made many temples, big temples. Two famous temples were in Thanjavur and Gangaikonda Cholapuram. So that is the two famous temples. Agriculture was well developed along with various methods of irrigation. In that time, Cholas dynasty, that agriculture was well developed and various methods of irrigation they used to use. Settlement of peasants called Ur. Whatever the settlement between that peasants, whatever the things that money and all that, whatever the financial things were there, that is called settlement. That settlement called Ur become prosperous with the spread of irrigation in agriculture. The village council and the Nadu performed several administrative functions. There were some councils in village, and the different council of village can be under one Nadu. One Nadu was there, and in one Nadu different councils were there, and they used to take care of the administrative function of the village. Association of traders known as Nagarams also performed administrative function in the town. For the administrative function in the town, who used to take care, Nagarams used to take care. That is called, the association called name is Nagarams. Inscription also mention about Sabha. Some of the inscription like Prashasti was the inscription, the written form. So from that we got to know that there used to be Sabha also. Sabha is like council of Brahmins. So that Sabha was also there, and what they are having different committees to look after. Some will take care of the irrigation work, how it is happening, it is some problem is there, how to solve it, some gardens, temples, etc. So they used to take care of all these things, Sabha. Now some of the new words we will talk here. Samantas, the subordinate of kings or overlords who used to bring gifts to their kings or overlords, means Samantas were the, you can say, right hand or left hand of the king. They were having some land and they used what was their work to bring gifts, means in the tax. They used to collect cash and they used to give to the kings. Mahasamantas or Mahamandleshwara, the Samantas who gained power, after that Samanta is there, king has made Samanta. When they used to gain power and wealth, they declared themselves Mahamandleshwara and Mahasamanta. Means I am the king of that region now. So that is Mahasamantas. Maharaja Adhiraj and Tribhuvan Chakravarti. These are the high sounding title used to give king to themselves. The king used to give themselves that title, that I am Maharaja Adhiraj and I am Tribhuvan Chakravarti. Means Maharaja Adhiraj means king of kings. That is Maharaja Adhiraj, and Tribhuvan Chakravarti means lord of three worlds, like we say that Prithvi Lok, Swargalok, Patal Lok. So that is the three worlds are there, and I am the Tribhuvan Chakravarti. Rent, the part of the product that the producers, the peasants, cattle keepers, artisans were compelled to pay to the lords in some sort of you can say tax. Whatever you are producing, whatever you are earning, some part of that you have to give to the king so that he can take care of the need of everyone. So that is called the rent. Prashasti, a literary composition often in verse written in praise of the ruler, depicted him as a valiant, victorious warrior. Means that Prashasti was a written form of the composition by Brahmins of that particular kingdom. They used to write good thing. They used to praise the king in that Prashasti, and that was called the Prashasti. And one of the Prashasti, I will give you example. Kalhan was one Brahman, and he has written one Prashasti, Raj Tarangini, about the kings of Kashmir. Sultan, like in India we were having king, in Arabian country they used to tell their rulers, they used to say their rulers Sultan. Ur means settlements of peasants. Nadu means group of Urs. The settlement of peasants group is there, and that many groups has become one Nadu. So Nadu was there. Brahmadaya, the land given to the Brahmins as a grant if the king used to like the Prashasti written by Brahmins, so they used to give them land. So that is called the Brahmadaya, and they used to write the statement ki okay, that land belongs to this Brahman I have given. So they used to write it on the land grant, that is called the land grant, that is on that plate, metal plates they used to write that. Then Nagarams means associations of traders, it is called. Sabha, the assembly of Brahmins. And revenue, the tax traders had to pay their lords, means whatever they are earning, they have to give the tax to the whatever has decided tax they have to give to the king, that is called the revenue. Thank you so much.